Benjie Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me directly through Benjie at alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and support our broadcasts. People of Distinction is an internationally syndicated show because of viewers like you. People, we're available on all major podcasts as well as YouTube. So if you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. All right, we appreciate the support. Keep on showing the love, and do me a favor. Sit back and strap in because we are very excited to showcase this next guest here with us on our network. On the line with us today, we have Kimberlie Smith. We're going to be discussing her amazing book, Why Vanilla Ice Cream is My Favorite. Oh yeah, I like this one. It's available for purchase through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, her personal website, foraparentsheartbeat.com. There you're going to find more information on Kimberlie herself, more information on this book, but get this. Kimberlie has 7 other titles that she has written. Side note, there's more on the horizon. It starts with this fantastic book, but make sure you check out all the rest that she has in store and check back in frequently for the rest of them once they become available. Once again, that's foraparentsheartbeat.com. And before we go any further, I want to take this opportunity and showcase the fact that Kimberlie was brought to our network by one of the best advertising firms in the business. People you already know, I'm talking about Quantum Discovery. So for my writers out there who have gone through their process creating your masterpiece, and now you've done it, okay? You need help moving the book that you just finished developing though. Contact Quantum Discovery, people. They're one of the best in the business to do it, and this is exactly what they specialize in. So head on over to quantumdiscovery.net and gather all the ways that their fantastic team is gonna help you do just that. And listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Kimberlie here on the line. Now, right there in the title, it obviously has a very catchy one, right? It's very entertaining. Why Vanilla Ice Cream is My Favorite. Well, people, can I just say, first and foremost, vanilla ice cream is my favorite. And I've gotten so much backlash over the years for saying so. I don't understand the big gripe against vanilla ice cream. People think it's boring, people think it's this, people think it's that. Well, let me tell you something, it's a fantastic foundation for so many other ice cream flavors. So, you need to pump the brakes on all the hate, okay? Vanilla ice cream, in my opinion, is the best, but I'm biased, but that's just me. But listen, joking aside, levity aside, this book is much more than just a catchy title. That it is, entertaining to no end, but your children are going to lavish in their education that they're going to be receiving. This particular book carries the importance of imagination and bordering outside of what you are accustomed to, utilizing your mind, your imagination, to think of alternatives. That's going to be very beneficial. But one through line amongst all of Kimberlie's books is that emphasis, that underlying theme and message of education, of kindness, of unity, of acceptance. This is something you are going to lavish in. Your children are going to love it. They're going to learn without even realizing they're doing so. You as a parent are also going to learn. We'll talk about that a little bit later. These are books you're going to want to add to your shelf. Head on over there, figure out why, and who better to discuss it all than Kimberlie herself. Sit back and strap in. Kimberlie, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Listen, the pleasure is all ours, Kimberlie. It's not often we get to talk to such an accomplished author. I mean, listen, 8 titles so far, so much more on the horizon. We're thoroughly looking forward to this. I think your books, as a father myself, I understand the importance of having that education also coupled with entertainment. We're thoroughly looking forward to this. It really is a pleasure. Before we go into your book, though, let's start off by learning a little bit more about yourself and your background. Tell us, who is Kimberlie Smith?
I grew up frequently moving around when I was younger for my father's work. And with that, There's a lot of road trips, and if I wasn't sleeping to pass the time, I had my nose in a book, or I was writing short stories or about my experiences. And it grew my love and passion for books. Everything from the simple, straightforward storylines to the twists and turns in a plot, and even the plot twist where you get to the end of the book and you're craving more, you want more. Now, my love for writing has always been there, but professionally, I took a medical field route, and I've spent a lot of my adult life doing emergency medical technician and currently cardiac tech. I've done that for almost 30 years. But it's never overseeded the love and passion for writing and telling stories, which my kids love.
Well, listen, I mean, that's a great segue that you've established. And I thought I was connecting the dots until you hit me with the medical background. And then I was like, wait, hold on, what's happening here? So obviously writing is a part of your background. You loved reading, you loved writing growing up. I see that, I'm connecting those dots. But switching to the medical field, just from an adult perspective, I get it. Listen, we have responsibilities and we have bills to pay for. And as an artist, man, it's not always the most fruitful endeavor for you to embark upon. I get it. But getting back to that inspiration here, switching gears, when it comes to writing and writing professionally, what inspired you to do so? And then specifically with this age group that you're working with children, why did you choose that particular genre?
Mostly it was because it tied in with my kids. The age group that I was writing for was also the age group that my kids were. And, you know, the good night stories, you know, tell me a story, read me a book. It just evolved into them liking my stories and asking if I could repeat it, and no better way to repeat it than to actually make a book. So there's a physical copy for down the road, legacy for my children, for my children's children, and so on and so forth. And they love it. They're my actual inspiration for all my work.
I love that. Again, as a parent myself, like I get it, right? Your children, they become your muse for a lot of different things, and it makes perfect sense. I love it. Thank you for clarifying. Without further ado, the anchor for today's interview is all about your amazing book, Why Vanilla Ice Cream is My Favorite. I'm excited to hear about this. Tell us a little bit more about the words on those pages.
Why vanilla ice cream is my favorite. Why? Why is vanilla someone's favorite? We tend to think that vanilla ice cream is plain, it's boring. What is there to like about vanilla ice cream? Well, I had this vision for this little boy who is probably daydreaming about his favorite ice cream, vanilla ice cream. And he wants to be more imaginative. So he takes us on a journey through these pages of all the ways that you can change vanilla ice cream. Not saying that vanilla ice cream isn't perfect in its own way, but people need to understand that without vanilla ice cream, you wouldn't have anything else. You wouldn't have cookies and cream. You wouldn't have chocolate. It's the base for everything else. So it's really underplayed, and people just don't give it enough credit that it deserves.
You know, Kimberlie, thank you for saying that. I agree. I'm right there with you. I mentioned it to you before. My favorite ice cream has always been vanilla ice cream. I love it. I don't understand what the big gripe is with it. So many people are against it. And yeah, people think it's bland. They think it's boring. No, okay? Vanilla ice cream is amazing, okay? I love it. It's the best thing ever. But I'm right there with it. And also, the imagination aspect of your book, I think, is so important. I have my assumptions as to why that is beneficial beneficial and why it was incorporated. But I'd love to hear it from you, that educational undertone, and in this instance, utilizing your imagination, being free, being open to exploring and going there. Why did you incorporate that into your narrative, and why do you think it's important for children to access their imaginations?
For one, I mean, there's multiple layers in the message. I mean, it even goes to the point that, you know, you don't want to judge someone just based on what they like and what they don't like. Oh, you like vanilla ice cream? Well, I don't like you. I only like chocolate ice cream. You know, it's not what we need to be doing. We need to accept everybody for who they like, what they are, all of that. So it's kind of the undertone message in the book is, you know, yes, creativity, imagination, all of that is in the forefront of the pages, but undertone is, you know what, we need to be kind and not judge.
You know, Kimberlie, you said a mouthful there. People, again, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble. You're going to want to head on over to her personal website as well. It's going to be foraparentsheartbeat.com. Pick up copies of this book. Pick up copies of the 7 others that she has in store. Check back in frequently because she has more on the horizon as well. These are things you're going to want to add to your shelf. Your children are going to thank you. Fellow parents are going to thank you once you get it for gifts for them as well. There's a lot happening here. You're going to want to check it out. Follow-up question that I'd love to go into as we start to close out of this book, because I do want to give us some opportunities to go into some other ones here. Kimberlie, what would you say was a highlight for you in this entire process of writing this book, from conception to creation to publication? What was a highlight for you?
The highlight is, you know, you have this, the vision of what it's going to look like. And then you set out, you do your research, you find the proper and the perfect illustrator that can execute the illustrations the way you envision them, and you get everything, you know, tied up in a nice little bow, and then you get the mock-up in the mail. Unpackaging that mock-up in front of my kids and seeing their faces beam with pride and joy and grabbing at it like I want to read it now, that, you know, proud of mom, and, you know, it doesn't get any better than that. That's the highlight to me. The finished product that I enjoy opening it up and giving to them, and they love it.
There you have it. Kimberlie, thank you very much. Listen, as we close out of this book, I think the most important question, and I would be remiss if I didn't ask, Kimberlie, what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate.
Ah.
I'm a chocolate girl.
Well, I mean, I get it. You know, chocolate is delicious as well. I thought you would be on the vanilla team because you wrote the book, but no. But no. All right. Well, people, listen, just adding some levity here to it. I know all of the flavors are great amongst themselves, right? They're fantastic. How can you really just choose one? But listen, in addition to this amazing book, as I mentioned, she has 7 other titles you're going to want to check out. Another one that we're going to touch up on today is called Unicorn Princess and Her Birthday Cake. I love these titles, and instantly right there, you have an idea of what to expect and the journey your children are going to embark upon. But Kimberlie, really quickly, give us a brief synopsis of that narrative and what to expect when we pick it up.
Well, at the time that I wrote that book, my daughter was head over heels for unicorns. Everything was unicorns. Yeah. And it was her birthday coming up. So, and as a family, this is a book that, as a family, we spitballed and came up with some great ideas for the Unicorn Princess's journey in how she makes her cake. But basically what the book is about is her birthday's coming up and she wants to make her favorite cake. And you know what? She's missing an ingredient. She has to go to town for that. But going through town means going through a scary forest. On the way, she meets some friends who join her and help her. And she welcomes them back to her party later that day for celebrating. The best message that I could say about the book, though, is nothing you receive is better than friendship. The relationships that you build on the way to wherever it is you're going, those are the ones that you want to keep, and it doesn't matter anything else that comes in a box or has a bow on it. It's not ever going to measure up to relationships and friendships.
Love that. Great themes throughout both of these books, and I know the rest of your narratives carry wonderful messages as well. I'm curious to know, as an artist, as an author, is there a theme, an overarching theme or message that you generally like to send to your readers? Is there one through line that connects your narratives that you really want to make sure your readers are aware of upon completing any of your books?
Mostly, I just focus on what kids should be learning and growing in their world. You know, kindness, friendship, love, respect. All of these things are important values that need to be reinforced. And what better way than in a colorful and sometimes rhythmic book that they can cherish.
You know, Kimberlie, I'm so glad you said that. People, just to kind of detract for a second from where we are, we often talk about here through People of Distinction, the connectivity amongst our human family, right? That's a term we throw around a lot, and you can utilize it or categorize it as a cliche, but we thoroughly mean it. There is more that connects us than separates us. And I think so often, and again, not to put a heavy hand on things, but I think that there is a moment here of education to be received from the adult's perspective. Books of these magnitude are the precipice of so much for your children, but you as well. And I know a lot of you are looking at it and you're like, Benjie, these are children's narratives. What do you mean? How can they teach me something? People, put your biases aside, keep an open mind, and read in between the lines. And I promise you, there are messages in these books that you're going to be able to take to the bank. These are impactful things. But it starts with that, right? It starts with these books. Pick them up, read them to your children, get them for gifts for others, and have a discussion, right? Let's talk to one another. Let's get back to conversing, because I think that is what's missing so much in this world and amongst our human family. And we have Kimberlie in this instance to thank for it, because she brought these magnificent books to our table. As I mentioned, we touched the surface on 2 of them. People, there are a lot more, okay? There are 6 other ones at her site currently available for purchase. Be on the lookout, because there's a lot more on the horizon. All right, you're going to want to head on over there, get lost in them. Kimberlie, this has been a true pleasure, an absolute delight. I really do mean that, in such an honor. Keep up the fantastic work, and thank you again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.